Hi there, it's Scott, waiting for a couple folks to sign on. Great to be with you on Periscope. I mentioned yesterday we're going to try to be here on Periscope more frequently, and I'm going to try to do it about 2 o'clock every day, 2 o'clock Eastern Time in the United States, 11 o'clock Pacific Time, of course, in the United States. And I know we got a bunch of folks who watch from the United Kingdom and over in Europe, and let's see, right now it's 8 o'clock at night in Paris. Hey, from the UK. Hey, Samantha, it's 7 p.m. there? Is that right? 7 p.m. in the UK right now? So I'm catching the evening. Wow, you're on top of social media and everything there. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Andrea, hello. Hi to everybody. It's amazing we got so many viewers in the United Kingdom and that. From Scunthorpe. I don't know where. I've been in the United Kingdom many times. I've worked a few times for BMW in the UK, and have spoken. Every BMW dealer in the UK has heard me. So I just, man, oh man, I hope I get a chance to get back over there very soon. Every time I've had a chance to be over there, it's just been absolutely extraordinary. Dorset, been to Dorset. I'd love to get the chance to come back. My goodness, Bedfordshire. Good grief, look at how many folks we've got from the UK. It's absolutely spectacular. Well, I apologize that I have an accent, but it's Arden BMW, of course, in Maidstone. I met with folks from there. And gosh, Paul, I can't thank you enough for introducing me to the wonderful folks from Unique. I've received so many incredible messages from all the folks involved with Unique. And hey, Bedfordshire, Surrey, we're golly from all over. And thank you for the hearts as well. I appreciate it. We just want to spend a couple minutes today talking about it. We started the conversation a little bit yesterday. And in the book Create Distinction, I talk about that there are 3 destroyers of differentiation. So as you're seeking to stand out in the marketplace, that's one of the things we want to avoid. What are some of the things that would pull us back to the pack? Now, if you're involved in any type of network marketing or any type of sales whatsoever, one of the things that customers try to do, not just your competition, but one of the things your customers try to do is to pull you back to the pack. There's a reason for that. And whether it's conscious on their part or even just subliminal, there's a reason they can do it. First of all, if they say that you're no different from everybody else, it gives them an excuse for not buying. Right? And Susan, I couldn't agree with you more. It's incredible that I'm sitting here in my house in Indiana in the United States and you're watching over there. It is amazing. It's one of the incredible things about Periscope, isn't it? But if I say that you're the same as your competitor, it gives me an excuse for not buying. It's one of the things that some customers aren't doing this consciously. Some of them are doing it subconsciously almost. They're looking for an excuse not to buy, and it's one of the reasons that they can do that. But the other thing is, if they say, "Hi Jade, good to see you," if they say that you're no different from everyone else, it also gives them a chance to argue with you about price. Because if what you're marketing is a higher value than someone else, then part of what happens is that you know they want to argue with you about price. We have that happen in our business. I'm sure you have it in yours. Customers are conditioned to think like that. As a matter of fact, to piggyback on what you're saying there too, customers in some ways have been trained to think like that. We had a situation not long ago where somebody called and said that they had been to a seminar, and in the seminar they had taught them to make sure to argue about price. Isn't that ridiculous? So when we stuck to our price, they went ahead and booked it at the price that we quote. They just said, well, they'd been to a training seminar that told them that they always had to argue about price. So that's one of the things you're going to see is that people, they want to find a way to pull you back to the pack. You're going to find that too in terms of if you're successful, people are going to try to find a way to pull you back to the pack. What you've got to do is just what I did to some idiot there. You just block them. You block that thought out of your mind. You block these bad comments. You can't let them drag it in. You have to rise to the higher level. I can't control what someone else thinks, but I can control how I react to it. And I can either get real upset or I can just hit the block button and forget it. Price doesn't guarantee value. You're exactly right, Paul. Exactly right. You have to focus on the value that you bring. So, as it said in the title, what's your uniqueness? One of the things that I recommend that you work on is to try to create a unique positioning statement. Now, the example that I use is what Hollywood calls the high concept. If I say, let me tell you about a movie, Bomb on a Bus, you probably think of the movie Speed. If I say Shark Attacks, you think of the movie Jaws. If you watch, well, sometimes even the high concept becomes the defining statement of the movie. If I say snakes on a plane, you think of snakes on a plane, right? So it's amazing if you pick up the newspaper wherever you are in the world and you go to the television section, you can see multi-million-dollar movies described in just one sentence about what makes them unique and what makes them stand out. And so what I want to suggest is you find a way to create that for what you're talking about. I was doing a program a few years back, and it was for insurance representatives. And this guy comes up to me and he says, okay, so I'll build your financial future. Well, anybody in the room could have said that, right? It doesn't make that person stand out. Come to find out they were a retired Air Force pilot, and they were beginning a second career, this person was. And so now when someone says, what do you do? He says, I fly people through financial turbulence. Now notice what he did was take something unique about himself and find a way to incorporate that into the business. So one of the things I want to recommend is think about something that's really important to you. When someone says, what do you do? If you're a mom working from home, making something happen, if you're in network marketing because you want to be your own boss, if you're selling BMWs because you believe in the ultimate driving machine, find a way to take what's important to you and combine it with what's important about what you're doing as a way to express your uniqueness. It's the first place that you begin to separate yourself from the pack. If we look at work in a nursing home, man, I'll tell you what, from family experiences, Susan, you are doing some of the most important work in the world. I love this. I help other women find freedom to spend time with their children and family. Now, see, that, Pittsburgh, how you doing? That's so brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant because what you're doing is finding a way that ties business with emotion. One of the things we often forget as we talk about business is we all want loyal customers, right? Regardless of what business you're in, we're all seeking loyal customers. But customers are only loyal when there's emotion, right? Why would I be loyal to something towards which I have no feeling? And so part of what you're trying to do here, hey, no problem, just glad you're here. Don't worry about being late. And hello again to the UK, to the folks that said hi from there. Precious moments, good to see you. One of the things we wonder is why aren't customers more loyal to us? Why don't people continue to do business with us? And part of what we have to understand is loyalty springs from emotion. If we think about our personal relationships, what happens in our personal relationships? Well, there are some people that are acquaintances, and then there's other people that we're totally devoted to and we're in a monogamous relationship with. Well, notice we're more emotionally connected here. Here, there's little emotional connection. So the more emotional connection we have, the more intense, the more enduring, the more critical that loyalty becomes. Yet in business, I mean, you can get a master's in business administration and not have a single course on the importance of emotion in business. It means that somewhere there's a disconnection between what really drives customer loyalty and what creates a good business. Finding ways to get that emotional connection is part of how you drive loyalty in the business. And that emotional connection is going to come from your uniqueness. It's going to come from what you bring in terms of that unique positioning statement, that high concept that's going to help you fight the mediocrity that we so often see. So one of the things I want to encourage you to do, it's the message of today, is to look at yourself and to think about what can you say sincerely, exactly, Sharon, from the heart. What can you say there that's going to establish this critical emotional connection with the people that you seek to serve? When you create that emotional bond, there's an old story that happened a few years back. A guy named Rob Johnson He was the guy that Steve Jobs picked from the very beginning to run Apple stores. And so even before there was the first Apple store, he was the guy that was hired to kind of create it and come up with a concept. And he and Steve Jobs worked together to create Apple stores. So when he left Apple stores, when he was leaving Apple stores, Retail Marketing Magazine asked him, why had they been so successful? You know what I mean? Apple has more sales per square foot at its retail stores than any other retailer. Apple sells more per square foot than Tiffany's, than Harrods in the UK, than any other retailer on the planet. So how did they get there? And Rob Johnson had a fascinating response to that. Yes, Cindy, absolutely. You know what Rob Johnson said? He said at Apple, before you work on the floor of the Apple store, you have to understand what sets us apart. So the question is, what sets you apart? And he says, at Apple, we only look into our customer's heart. We don't look into their wallet or their purse. We look into our customer's heart. Now, what he didn't say is, look, if I've got your heart, I'm probably going to get what's in your wallet or purse as well, as long as I'm sincere and I'm ethical and I uphold the highest standards. So that's what we want to understand, is that when we create that emotional connection, we transcend transaction and make some really incredible things happen. You know, it's so great, too, to hear and to see those comments, Jade, there. Thank you for that. Because one of the things I've often found is I did a story, part of how I got hooked up with BMW is I wrote in my first book about Carl Nielsen. And Carl is a salesperson that sold me a BMW. And he's so passionate about the cars. And he's just, it's not just that he knows his product, he believes in his product, which is what I'm seeing from many of you folks here today. And so the question I asked Carl is, I said, man, you are such a fabulous salesperson for BMW. Could you sell a Mercedes? And his response was really interesting. He said, I could be a good salesperson because I have I understand sales and I understand the quality. But he said, I couldn't sell anything else as well as I can sell this because I love this car. I believe in this car. So one of the things I believe about those of you who are extraordinarily building your business in network marketing or any type of sales, whatever it might be, one of the things I really see and I really respond to is that many of you are saying, you know, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. And you like me, right? Right, Paul? I mean, we connect. But I'm passionate about this particular product. I'm passionate about what I'm selling to you. And I'm passionate because the only way that you get benefit is if I can get you to use the product and if I can get you to become my customer. And I mean, I'm going through this. I believe if I'm going to talk to you about educating yourself, I've got to walk the talk. So I'm going through this program now. And it asks an incredible question. And it's one I'll ask you. How would your prospects' lives be less if they don't acquire what you have to offer? I'd never really thought of the question from that perspective before. In other words, how would their lives, what would it be missing a year from now, 5 years from now, if they don't do what you're encouraging them to do? Because once you identify that loss, for some reason, at least with me, it even heightened my motivation about why I want to make this happen, because I care about these people. I don't want them to be here a year or 5 years from now thinking about what will happen if they don't do it a year or 5 years from now. Not only heightens my enthusiasm for getting project completed, it enlarges my obligation to make sure that it happens, because I don't want them to be without the benefit of this. So just a few ideas for you. Get to work on crafting a concise statement. What about you that is unique? And what about, change the movie they run in their head. What if I do? What if I don't? Exactly right, Paul. I mean, we talk about, and I'm bringing this from the sales perspective, the marketing perspective. Hi, glad you joined us. Thank you. I'm bringing that from that perspective. But so many times we think about, hey, here's what you're going to benefit by, acquiring what I'm selling, whether it's a training program or makeup or a car or whatever it might be. Flip that for a minute.
How will your prospect or customer be less if you don't bring your unique skills and your unique talents and what makes you distinctive to the forefront? It certainly enhances your obligation to make something happen. So again, craft a statement. We'll talk more about this perhaps a little bit tomorrow as well, but craft that statement that's going to talk about how you can stand out. Think about what you can blend from your own personality and your own situation with the product that will help create emotional bonds that rise you, bring you up to the top of what you're doing. If you got in late, naturally this will be on the replay. I hope you enjoy that. If you got any questions, comments, please drop me a note on Twitter, Facebook. I know many of you follow me there. Whatever, I look forward to responding. I tried to not get them to buy. I just told them how much I love it. Isn't it amazing what happens when you're passionate and you believe in it? Paul, can't thank you enough for all the folks that you've sent this way. Lisa, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much. And hey, be back on with you very